Hello, and welcome to another installment of In the Limelight. My name is Barry Gordon. I'm the host for today's program. I'm the director of the School of Entertainment and Design Technology. We have a wonderful show for you today with a lineup of spectacular guests. We're going to talk about the Miami International Film Festival, and in particular, the Cinema Slam Film Competition. But first, let's take a look at what we have in store at this year's Miami International Film Festival. You could see all the excitement that we have in store at this year's film festival. One major component of the festival is the Cinema Slam Student Film Competition, where all of the local film schools have their students enter their best work in a head-to-head competition where they screen the films before a live studio audience. With us today is the Program and Industry Initiatives Associate Manager of the Miami International Film Festival, Cinema Slam, Carol Coombs. Welcome, Carol.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here, Barry.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. First of all, let's get some background about the Cinema Slam Film Competition. How did this come about?
It started in 2011. It was an initiative that the Associate Director at the time, Danette Walport, really pushed through. And over the years, in the last 3 years, the calibre of films has really grown, and more film schools have actually been added to the roster in Miami-Dade.
Yes, well, of course, that makes the film competition more competitive. And of course, we're very proud of the submissions in this year's Cinema Slam competition from Miami-Dade College.
Yes, you actually had 11 submissions and we shortlisted down to 2, and not all the film schools have 2 submissions, and your submissions are excellent.
Yes, well, I mean, of course. You know, we did add recently our 4-year baccalaureate degree program, so our students are getting more hands-on and they're able to work on more projects throughout their academic career, and maybe that's why. But 11 submissions, it's really makes us feel good that our students are turning out great works and they're letting them be seen before an audience.
Yes, and for the first time this year, unfortunately, we had to push out 2 of the schools who are film schools in Miami-Dade, just because the calibre of work from the 4 main producing film schools in Miami was so strong this year.
Wonderful. Then we're included in the 4
You're
major schools?
You're included in the 4 major schools.
That's terrific. Terrific to know. Tell me about the judging process. First of all, who judges the films? How is the final selection made?
It's made, actually, we always say it's made like an American Idol competition. So we opened up the submissions for online voting in beginning of January for nearly a month. And everybody from all over is allowed to go to the Open Film Cinema Slam website and vote online. And then what we do, we add to that the scores from the faculty professors, and we determine the final shortlist. The final shortlist is then viewed by a calibre of esteemed industry professionals from Miami.
That's what I was going to ask. Who are the judges, or how does the judging process work, and who sits on the panel for the final judging?
The Film Festival actually actively solicits film professionals from Miami. So the 3 judges this year are Sandy Leiterman, who's got huge production experience, and she's currently the Film and Entertainment Industries Liaison for the Miami-Dade Office of Film. We've also got Giselle Traynor, who's worked for many years at Somas TV. She's the marketing manager there. And we've also Joseph Monacal, who's on the board of the Miami-Dade Office of Film and Entertainment, and he's the Associate Vice President of Investment at Wells Fargo Investment Bank. So
it must be very difficult for the judges to narrow down all these films and then pick the ultimate winner. Are the films categorized? Are there different categories that the judges look for?
Yes, there's different categories. There's a category for best technical achievement, which has this great prize. It gets some software as well as a certificate for being, that's the first time we're doing that. There's also an award for best actor, best actress, best animation, best experimental, and also best director overall. And then there's a grand prize, which gets a $500 check from Film Florida, which is great. For any student, you get a cash prize, and they also get lots of software and an all-access pass to the film festival. So that has a huge amount of kind of in-kind value, whoever wins that grand prize.
That's wonderful, because not only are we awarding the best films of the competition, but you're also encouraging the students to continue on to do more work.
Absolutely.
With awarding them the software, production software, etc. That's really great catalyst for them to continue in their field.
And I wanted to say the prize from Film Florida, it's the second year they've done it, and it's actually a scholarship, a Sarah Fuller Scholarship. And they give one out to one student in the state of Florida. So whoever wins that, it's a very prestigious prize.
That's great. Let's talk about, when is the Cinema Slam competition taking place?
Well, I'm very excited. It's actually the kickoff event for the Miami International Film Festival. So the festival runs from March the 1st to March the 10th. And Cinema Slam is actually on February the 28th at O Cinema in Wynwood from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. There's going to be a screening of all the 9 shortlisted films, and then we're going to announce who has won at the end of the screening.
It's very, very exciting.
Very exciting.
And how does one get tickets to see this event? Do you have to register in advance or make a reservation?
You do have to go online to our website where you can purchase tickets. That's miamifilmfestival.com.
Wonderful. Well, we look forward to this year's Cinema Slam. Of course, I'm a little bit biased, but I'm looking forward to perhaps our students walking away with a major prize. Thank you very much, Carol, for joining us.
Thank you. And thank you for all support of Miami-Dade College.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more In the Limelight with our next guest. But before we go to break, let's listen to one of the songs from the MDC student film, Something Beautiful.
Out, been hard pressed, lost in the crowd, on a merry-go-round with the opposite sex. My love life had no clue, running blind, no idea where I was going to. But darling, now that I found you, it all makes perfect sense. I think I can see love from here, getting closer every time you're near me. Where you are is right where I wanna be. Love
Miami-Dade College. 8 campuses, 7 bachelor degrees. Miami-Dade College is the largest institution of higher education in the United States. With 8 campuses and 7 bachelor degrees, Miami-Dade College has the right education for you. Film, television and digital production, health science, public safety management, supervision and management, education, electronic engineering technology, and nursing. 8 campuses, 7 bachelor degrees. Miami-Dade College, the power of opportunity.
Hello, and welcome back to In the Limelight. I'm your host, Barry Gordon, Director of the School of Entertainment and Design Technology. On today's program, we've been talking about the Miami International Film Festival, which is coming to town the first week in March. In particular, the Cinema Slam student film competition is a major component of this year's festival. Joining me now is Professor Josh Ellis, who teaches in the baccalaureate degree program of film, television, and digital production here at Miami-Dade College. Welcome to the show, Josh.
Thanks, Barry.
Let's talk a little bit about the baccalaureate degree program and how these students prepare to create their films, which made it to the finalists in this year's Cinema Slam competition.
Sure. Well, we model our curriculum here after industry standards. So we start with the students essentially having a development phase where they develop their script ideas and their concepts. Then they would pitch that to a panel.
So you actually, the students need to get green-lighted before they can continue on with their productions.
Absolutely, and that's what they're all dreading, that day of what is going to be greenlit or not. So they all go through a pitching process. After we do select the projects to go forward with, they go into pre-production, which would be finding locations, casting, rewrites. Then we move into production eventually, shooting the films. And then we go into post-production phase. That'd be editing, sound designing, finishing, and then getting ready to go to a film festival such as the one coming up soon.
The Cinema Slam.
That's
Yes,
right.
it's exciting. Let's talk a little bit about the pitch session.
Yeah.
How is that organized, and who are the students pitching to?
Sure. Well, the pitching panel this past year or two has been made up of representatives locally from Kodak, from the Film Commissioner's Office, other industry professionals, directors, and writers. Also faculty and staff. So intimidating enough that it's real, but also that it's really going to be insightful information for the students to take away from that session.
Well, the students have to realize that throughout their career, they're constantly going to be selling their ideas and pitching their ideas to get green-lighted, because the money just doesn't fall from the trees as we'd like to think.
That
it
would be
does.
nice, but no, it doesn't. Yeah, we have to go out there and ask for the money, and that's what they do here.
Do you recall how many projects were pitched at this year's session for this semester's films?
So for this year, we had approximately 6 films, and we selected half of them, so 3. So it's usually about 50% of the pitches get selected. So
now, I assume that the films that were pitched, that were selected, were very well planned, had all of their ducks in a row, had a very feasible budget to go into production?
I mean, they are kind of going up against each other in that regard, and so they kind of weed themselves out to some degree if they're not prepared, like you mentioned. But yes, some of them all across the board had the technical stuff down, so then it became which of the projects makes more sense to go to a festival to kind of make a name for the filmmakers. And that's what the industry panel has to kind of decide. So.
Right. Now, just to clarify, the films or the students who pitch a project that do not get selected, how do they integrate then into the course or into the productions?
Well, there's a huge crew that needs to be on a film from pre-production all the way through delivery of the film. And so those people would then come on board and work at the director of photography. They would be casting directors. They would be working in various levels of the production staff. So usually at the green light, the producer, the director, and the writer is all that we know, and we still need to fill out all those other positions.
So, Josh, tell us about the production process. How did the students go about planning their production and carrying out all of the production and then post-production?
Sure. Well, in class, we plan the productions, and then at the school here, they're able to have access to camera equipment, industry standard camera equipment, as well as lighting and grip equipment. And then also at the school, we have post facilities such as editing equipment and a world-class sound facility here that they're able to do Foley, ADR, which is
Foley, of course, is the sound effects that go into film. A lot of people don't realize that all footsteps, door slams, any type of jiggling, anything that makes noise has to be recreated in a sound studio and then put into the film, synchronized with the picture.
absolutely, because on set we're basically dedicating ourselves to dialogue. And so anything else would be in post. The soundtrack are created in our facility
Yeah,
here.
we've been listening to the soundtrack from one of the films in the Cinema Slam competition. So that was actually recorded in the sound recording studio?
That's right. We can support 20 to 30 piece instruments right there.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
So they get custom-made soundtracks, no longer trying to fit, you know, a square peg in a round hole by using some canned music.
Absolutely. And we're able to, with those kind of facilities, elevate our student films to quite a high level of production value, and they can compete with independent short films all over the country and the world.
Well, thank you very much, Josh, for being with us on today's show, and we're certainly looking forward to seeing these student films in the Cinema Slam competition and hopefully walking away with one of the grand prizes.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Don't go away. We'll be back with more in the Limelight. But before we go, let's listen to another song from the student film Something Beautiful.
If tonight is the night when we are close together in my mind, I can't deny I am flying in the sky. If tonight is the night, I'm looking for the pieces in my mind. I'm going crazy like a roller coaster ride. Something beautiful. Something beautiful, yeah, 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 yeah. I can't deny, yeah, 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 yeah. You're something beautiful, yeah, yeah. Girl, it's something in your eyes, something about your smile got you running on my mind. We living in the moment, so we don't have all the time. If tonight is the night, will you be mine until the sun doesn't rise? Tonight, I got a feeling inside I need to express. Every day, every kiss, every sunset. And I'll always cheer you up if you're upset. You're the one, now what's next? Oh yeah, beauty comes from within, girl. See, if you play the game, you're always gonna win, girl. And if they criticize, keep up your chin, girl. Cause when I'm with you, you make my heart spin, girl. I cannot deny, you're something bigger than life. When I'm with you, it feels like I could fly in the sky. We'll never divide, like the groom and the bride. You're something beautiful, love at first sight. If tonight is the night, this feeling is so clear deep inside. Butterflies, emotions running high. If tonight is the night, make it last forever, cannot hide. I can't disguise, like a roller coaster ride. Something beautiful, yeah, yeah, yeah. Something beautiful, yeah, 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 yeah. I can't deny, yeah, 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 yeah. You're something beautiful, yeah. Alright, I think tonight is the night. I'm looking for the pieces in my mind. I can't deny you're something beautiful, yeah.
for Continuing Education and Professional Development has an outreach center in Aventura. With many classes to offer, the center has the perfect course for you. We offer many computer courses like Microsoft Office, web design, and various IT certifications. For more information or to register, you can visit us online or call 305-936-2585. The future is in your hands. Register now.
Hello, and welcome back to In the Limelight. I'm your host, Barry Gordon. This year's Miami International Film Festival kicks off with the Cinema Slam student film competition. Joining me now on the show is student filmmaker Joey DeSantino and two actors who appear in his film. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Joey, I know that your film is something beautiful.
Correct.
And I know that it was a labor of love. Tell us, how did the story come about?
The story came about, actually, my dad was actually going through cancer. So it was just put on me that I wanted to do something around that since I was so close to it already. I was starting to feel what other people were going through when their family member would have problems such as cancer. So something beautiful came up. And the whole movie, I surrounded it under a high school senior who, in the beginning, her biggest wish is to go to prom with her crush. Everything seems going great, and then an unfortunate turn of events happens where she has cancer. But at the end, I wanted to show that even when you're going through life's darkest moments, there's always there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's something beautiful can arise.
It sounds very interesting. Now, Kristen Nyman, you play the young lady in the film. Tell us about the character.
Well, I play the role of Jenna, and as Joey described, she is a young high school senior, and she just wants to go to prom. That's her biggest dream, is to go to prom, but something really unfortunate happens, and she's diagnosed with cancer. So the story is really about her struggle.
And it seems an extremely dramatic role. How would you prepare as an actress for a role like this?
What I did is I watched a lot of films that focused on something that she went through, on what she was going through, and Joey can tell you, I needed a few minutes before each scene that I really had to concentrate and get into character before I could step into Jenna's world.
And Joey, about directing, I know that you learn about directing here in our film production program, but how did you know how to direct the actress to get the performance that you wanted?
I mean, it just comes with experience. Luckily here at Miami-Dade, we're able to make so many short films throughout the entire course of the bachelor's program. So when it came time to directing Kristen, I knew that her background was in theater. And I know that in theater, they're more meant to perform much bigger, to perform for the person sitting all the way in the last seat,
yes.
In the theater. When you're on camera, that last person is right in front of your face on the lens. So every gesture needs to be made smaller because the camera amplifies it. So the smallest gesture is a lot more detailed rather than this huge over-exaggerated movement.
And I assume that that Kristen turned in the performance that you were coaching her to give.
She did beyond what I expected. It was a complete switch. As soon as I gave her my little quick notes, she turned into an amazing movie actress.
Very talented. And let me ask you, Kristen, was this the first film that you've ever made?
This is the first film.
And how was it watching you, so amplified up on the screen as opposed to performing on stage before a live audience?
It was different. It was very different. But Joey did an amazing job, and I couldn't have asked for more.
I believe you also did an amazing job, and you turned into performance. I saw the film, and it's very emotionally felt.
Thank you.
And we also have Rick Nani. Welcome to the show.
You.
And you also performed in the film. What character did you play?
I did. I played Jenna's dad, who is faced with the task of having to console his daughter through this time after he just watched his wife go through the same thing. And just trying to console her throughout the movie and just be someone she can lean on and go to.
Rick, just as the role that Christian played, this is a very emotional and deeply felt role. How did you prepare for such a role?
Well, the subject, of course, it just puts you in the mood, okay? Reading the script, there's a great script, so that helped out a lot. Speaking with Joey, working with Kristen on set, everything felt right, just meshed together good. So preparing for the role, you know, read, study, study, and good direction helps a lot. So.
Yes, it's always goes back to the director whose vision needs to be presented on the screen.
Absolutely.
How about traditionally, what type of roles have you played? Do you have much film acting experience or theater?
Just what I've gained here at Miami-Dade College. Been fortunate over the last year or so to be involved in a few projects, mostly a little more along the lines of some comedy action. Maybe this is definitely a little off my
So
my
this was a
curve here,
stretch,
so
right? You had to
absolutely.
take all of your comedy and action talents and
throw 'em out the
channel it
window,
into
yeah.
drama. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. But I saw the film, and obviously the performances were very crucial to the success of this film, which was very successful, being in Cinema Slam and being a finalist. So, well, we wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Good luck at Cinema Slam, and hope you continue making films that advance your career. Don't go away. We'll be back with more in the Limelight. For more information about the film production programs here at Miami-Dade College, please contact the School of Entertainment and Design Technology at 305-237-1696 or visit us on the web at mdc.edu/SEDT. We'll be right back.
Never wanna see us quit. So we're standing fast to sit. Eating
Hello, and welcome back to In the Limelight. Joining me now is musician-composer Hugo Sanchez, who wrote the soundtrack for the student film Something Beautiful. Welcome to the show, Hugo.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the process that you go through when you're creating a soundtrack to a motion picture. What are the steps? Walk us through the process.
Well, in this case, with Something Beautiful, I got the final result. The images came to me, and I put it on my computer, and I sit down and watch the film. And, you know, start to get the moments that needed music, and how the music should feel is what, like, drove me, depending on what the character was like going through at the moment. So,
Now, Something Beautiful, as we discussed, it's quite a dramatic film.
Yes.
So when you watch the scenes, the hospital scenes, and then the accident scene, and what the actress is going through, the character, I guess, do you feel it? Do you hear the music in your head? How does that work for you personally?
well, it's a journey. You know, you have to dig in and start to imagine, like, the emotions that need to be conveyed musically, and also by listening to a lot of scores and having an idea how orchestrally the music can convey feelings.
So you watch a story and you kind of feel the music, and then you compose the music, and then we actually recorded the soundtrack here in the sound recording studio.
Yes, we did. That was quite a moment, because to have your music composed in a computer and then to be able to hear it with real musicians is like something very beautiful.
Yes, we had student musicians in
Yes.
our music programs record in our state-of-the-art, our brand new
Yes.
sound recording studio.
Yeah.
And I've only seen the film with the music. I can't imagine it without the music, but the music certainly adds, I mean, it really brings out the emotion, in addition, of course, to the script, the story, and the wonderful performances that the actors turn in. how did you know what type of music or when to add the the emotional, the violins and the piano and the strings? Because that really, it tugs at your heartstrings when you watch the film.
Well, we knew for start that it was going to be an orchestral score, so I knew what instruments were like in the plate, to choose from. And certainly the violins are very emotional instruments that have a lot of capacity to express emotions, like you can play vibrato or long notes, swells. So yeah, I mean, it's a great thing to be able to have an orchestra, a small orchestra, at your disposal to write music for.
And let me tell you, when you saw the film with it complete, with all of the music, your music added to it, was that how you envisioned it? Is that how you saw it or heard it in your mind, and then to see the finished product?
Yes, pretty much. Nowadays, with technology, with the computers, it's like a double-edged sword, because you have all these sounds that sound very close to what an orchestra will sound. But at the same time, it takes so much time to write on the computer and make it sound good so that the director can have an idea. But then when you have the real musicians, it adds this human, element to it that is unreplaceable.
Yes, I was fortunate enough to sit in at the recording session, and I saw a couple of takes when the music was being recorded, and it was certainly for the filmmakers, the student filmmakers, it was an overwhelming experience, because you see the whole project come to fruition and come to life, and all of the elements come together with the music. Music conveys a lot to determine the success of the film.
Yes, indeed.
So, well, that's great. What projects are you working on in the future?
Well, I would love to continue doing writing for the screen, something that I always wanted to do. And Joey and I are talking actually about probably doing more work together. But everything is like, waiting and see what happens.
No, it would be great if you formed a collaboration like Steven Spielberg and John Williams, right?
We'll see. That's awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Hugo.
No, my pleasure.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more in the Limelight. But before we break, let's listen to more of the beautiful musical score from the student film, Something Beautiful.
thinking is being served at Miami-Dade College. Create your own recipe for success in the evolution of food culture at the Miami Culinary Institute. Learn the skills you need to jumpstart your career in the culinary arts. Turn green into gourmet and celery into salary. Miami Culinary Institute. Food, culture, innovation. Visit us at miamidadeculinary.com. Register now. Miami Culinary Institute.
Hello, and welcome back to In the Limelight. I'm your host, Barry Gordon. On today's program, we're talking about the Miami International Film Festival and the Cinema Slam Student Film Competition. Joining me now in the studio are two recent graduates of Miami-Dade's Bachelor of Applied Science degree in Film, Television, and Digital Production, and whose film Camila is a finalist in this year's Cinema Slam competition. Please welcome Maria Garcia and Andres Hernandez. Welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Maria, you talk to us about Camila, how the project came about.
Camila actually was a project that Andres had originally conceived. And when we decided to work together, we took a look at the project and decided to rewrite and make some changes and really make it, not that it was bad before, but it was just, it was in its conceptual stages. And so basically we just spent a lot of long nights and wrote something that we were both very, very pleased with.
Mm-hmm. And you produced the short, correct?
I produced it, yes.
Okay. And Andres, you directed
Correct.
the project?
I directed the film.
Tell us about the story. What is Camila about?
Well, Camila is a story about a painter, a father who's down on his luck, you know, scraping together money, and he's trying to support his daughter, but his ex-wife refuses to let her see her unless he pays up the child support. So him being very stubborn, he's trying to earn an income through selling his work, and he just can't seem to get it. He can't find the right person to sell to. Mm-hmm. So we follow him during that struggle through the duration of the film.
Very interesting. So Maria, tell us about the casting, how you found the actors for the story of Camila.
Of course. We had a formal casting for the main characters of the art gallery owner, two of the art gallery owners. I had an idea of who should play the mother, and I also had an avenue of how to find the young girl through Prometeitos. Miami-Dade College has a program for child actors, and this is how we found Amanda, who played the role of Camila. Mm-hmm. Exceptionally well, I might add.
Yes, the actors do a wonderful job and turn in some great performances.
Thank you.
Of course, it's a story about an artist, and a lot of it takes place in his studio, and he's surrounded by artwork. Was the actor also an artist, or did you need to have somebody create the props of all the artwork in the studio?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't a painter at all, but I had, by luck, I have a good friend who is a painter, and he had a studio, and he was gracious enough to allow us to use his studio for an entire day. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of the backdrops, a lot of the props that you see are this painter's paintings.
Now, I believe you said that you both collaborated when writing the script and tweaking it to get it just right. What experience did you draw upon? Are either of you painters, or either of you, what personal experiences have you drawn upon to create the story? Because it's a very emotional story, and it has a lot of factors in it that add to the drama of the overall film.
Well, it is a personal film for me. I draw from my own experience coming from separated parents. And I also have always been into visual arts. Ever since I was young, I was always drawing, always dabbling in painting and illustration. And I just felt it was something that I needed to say.
So you've both collaborated on this project and have had great success with it. Do you plan on collaborating on any more projects in the future?
Yes, Andres and I have talked about it, and we're milling about some things. I know that Andres has written something, and I have a feature that I've written as well, and we've even talked about possibly putting together a small production company. And
we just have a great chemistry together.
And we really do.
We're always jumping off each other's
finishing each other's
Finishing each
sentences
other's-
as you've been demonstrating in today's show.
It's true. Sorry
Well,
about
that's
that.
good. But going from the world of shorts into a feature film is a drastic change.
Is a
Do you
giant
feel that
leap.
you're prepared for it? You're well prepared for it?
I'll tell you, I was amazed at the amount of work that it took to produce the short. But I'm confident in myself and in my talents, and I'm pretty organized that I can do it. I mean, it does take a Herculean task, I mean, to do it. But yes, in short, yeah.
And of course, you were trained by all of our wonderful professors here at Miami-Dade.
Indeed I was. Excellent professors.
So
Indeed.
thank you both for joining us, and good luck with Cinema Slam.
Thank you so much, Barry. Appreciate it.
Well, that's our show for today. For more information about the Miami International Film Festival, please call them at 305-237-FILM. That's 305-237-3456. And for information about the baccalaureate degree in film, television, and digital production, please contact the School of Entertainment and Design Technology at 305-237-1696, or visit us on the web at www.mdc.edu/SEDT. Thank you for joining us. See you next time on In the Limelight.